Okay, people, welcome back to the channel. If you're a new viewer, you're also welcome too, as far as viewing the channel on the free pickup camper to shed conversion. And as I mentioned in the last one or two videos, obviously more than family and pals are watching this series. So here is a update of what's been going on since the last videos. As you can see, we've got our trusty friend, the come along, to pull the bed plywood, what was formerly a bed plywood, perfectly butted up against the 2x4 vertical framework. And you can also notice our plywood is starting to be bolted to the actual stud. This one right here needs to be changed, and we are going to change it, shall we say. It's not bolted. This one is got a couple bolts in it already. So yeah, we've also got our little vertical kicker going up there, which will actually be permanent when it's all said and done. On this side, the reason I put in these small sections of quasi paneling it is to maintain the overall width that this was, and it was 86 and around an eighth inches total width. So when we go to work on the roof, as far as repairing it, basically replacing most of the roof, we'll know where we're at, and we'll probably use our little friend right here again if we need to suck it in as far as to get the actual width that it is. We're going to take this 2x1x4, which is actually 3/4 inches in width and 3.5 inches in actually, let's go back to that. This whole lumber thing, I still don't get it. The 1x4 is actually 3/4 of an inch here thick, and this section, even though it's called a 4, it's only 3.5 inches. So let's bring it with us, okay? Because a whole lot of stuff has been going on, which should be the case. So yeah. So as you can see, everything's all shiny. It hasn't been sanded and painted with some exterior paint just for future rot protection. But the siding will be going back on, and it's actually going to be put on multiple times and taken off to make sure that we can get this kind of where it should be, but also in tandem with how the aluminum siding was cut originally. Because if we were to get the actual perfect intended results, there's a good chance our siding would not line up where the trim molding goes on. And this is a trim molding. Hold on. See this piece? It gives you a little bit of sloppy play to cover up where the edges are at, but not a whole lot. So we have to be careful there. Now that the plywood floor is actually sucked up, we're going to use probably this piece right here, repurpose it, remove all the staples, or this piece. And then we're gonna cut it, just leave it that way so it overhangs like the 2x6. That is the main structural element of the bunkhouse. And we'll cut it when we need to cut it, as far as this piece and this piece, which goes like this, but on the end piece, and it already fits up perfectly inside here, like that. Since this is more or less a cosmetic trim piece that you won't see, and it still has plenty of life left in it, that's why we're going to repurpose it and use it again. I don't see any reason to go buy a new piece, because it's basically a trim piece. So yeah, and as you can see, when I talked about in the last videos how we pre-drilled our holes, and then we used that extra long 6-inch small diameter drill bit, we also reused it again to poke through the plywood, and then we busted out our 1/4-inch drill bit, which is the actual size for the carriage bolts to go in. If they go in with a little bit of tension, I mean, as far as resistance, that's actually a good thing, because you can use it as your friend over time, as far as a thing staying together and snug, shall we say. These are the first 2 bolts for the 2x6. And if you haven't watched the previous videos, the reason for the 2x6 going all the way here, we don't have to worry about this just kind of just hanging out the edge by itself, especially the plywood, if that makes any sense. So it'll remain square for all time and eternity. I can't stress the importance of making sure measurements are on the mark where they need to be. As you can see, I've traced everything out, even my screw up, see? But, you know, with keeping this in focus, you'll get it. And this maritime, aeronautical, industrial look, it's all going to be covered up anyway. So this little boo-boo right here, where I missed the hole, it will be covered up on the siding. I haven't decided what we're going to do as far as what around here, because that's where the siding ended, because this is where the pickup camper wing section ended. So we could just scrap, use the scrap pieces from our leftover from this originally and this, or I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get to that point. But the most interesting part, let me move these channel locks real quick. We're going to take our 1x4 and I'm going to try to put it up here and give you an idea of what's going down. See this 2x6, the little vertical kicker goes all the way up to there for one very good reason. Because right now we have just the bare minimum of, whoa there, horsey. This 1x4 is perfect. It meets up right with the top of the 2x6, so we can attach a 2x6 right there, and we can attach it to this piece right here, this vertical. And what's going to go down is the 2x4 runners, rather than these 2x2s, which when this was built, they were actually 1 3/4. We are going to replace these with the 2x4s, and they will sit just like this is sitting on our new top header ceiling piece. And let's go all the way down to the floor on these 2x4 structure, vertical structures. And this will just provide extra support. Haven't decided whether we're going to use carriage bolts or just screw it in place. And what will go down eventually is the siding will come up to here and we'll staple the new siding on. And then the roof will fold over like this onto the siding. And we have something brand new and perfectly symmetrical as far as no rot or wonkiness going on. But yeah, that's how it's going. But it's just a step procedural, shall we say, as far as you just got to do things in a process sense. You can't rush things. Well, I suppose anyone can rush things, but then you're going to get half-assed results. Maybe we can take a panoramic view of what's going down. And the SS dog, also known as raccoon dog, he's like going, what the hell's going on? Why are you making a movie without me? Oh, okay. That was his entrance and exit to the whole deal, but you can see how it's going down. This piece, it's going to take some time to get where we need to go as far as rebuilding the curb in tandem with the siding. But, you know, it does take time and all, but we'll get it. And we're not worried about that right now because we just need to get what we've already done right now set up so we can start working on that. And I think I told you the next step is to take one of these and mount it under here, which will fit flush. You can't see it. It will be just like this rotted piece right here where it's not visible. It'll be just slightly above the plywood, so drainage won't be an issue as far as water accumulation. And we are not going to put any siding back on underneath here or there, so this shed can breathe. As far as water accumulation in this area won't be able to happen. I hope that makes sense. And what I mean by the siding is here. Let's go to the port wall. This is all the stuff, basically, that was removed, and we've been repurposing some of the stuff, so that's the reason why there hasn't been any rush to just put it in the burn pit. So, yeah, here's the left wall, or port side starboard, port side, not starboard side siding. And we're good to about right here. Then we're going to have to be careful as far as when we repair it, our curb section. We've got to make it to that specification so our trim piece can go on. And then our top rain gutter will flow in right into it. So that's that. This will be going on and off pretty soon when we get to working on the front round piece right there, the curb, because that is our template. That's what we have to go by. Because if we just assumed that everything is perfect up there and forgot that this is what we need to use to get it perfect for the siding, we're going to have a screw up, and we don't want screw ups. If that makes any sense. As far as the original roof construction, well, this is it actually. This is all the rotted out stuff. This would be the top of the new 1x4. but we're going to delete that. We're just going to, yeah, with the 1x4, we don't need two pieces. We just one by 4. With all our measurements we did to make up with the difference in wood, it's actually the same dimensions, our 1x4 and plywood, to the top of the roof rafters. So yeah, this piece right here was put in temporarily, even though it seems so exacting. We're just gonna rip this out altogether and start with a new piece that goes up here to this butt end. But the reason it has to come out, it can't really be salvaged, is we got a little bow situation down here, which we could easily address with a 2x4 and more carriage bolts. But this has to be cut down to made up with the the 1x4 to the top of our roof plate, whatever we call this, the construction industry does. But yeah, so we need 3.5 inches here, but we're nowhere near there right now, and we'll take care of it. But we have to be really careful and mindful that our 1x4 is going to have to be especially cut to go out here, or with the new 2x4 10-foot long section, which is going to go on this side. You just need to stick it out so we have this little overhang support. That we'll get to when we get to it. Obviously, yeah, so, but we're going to have to modify that for the end piece, and it'd probably be wise. Let's see what's going on, actually. Oh no, we don't need to. We just need to, looks like just put a 2x4 on the out. Or no, our 1x4 section. We'll just cut a notch out. Looks like 3 or 4 inches, so it will overhang out the back. But we'll figure it out when we see it up close, as far as this piece already removed and replaced with a new piece. The reason, if you're new to the channel and you hadn't watched the series, well, there's more substantial plywood on this side versus this side, which has yet to be filled in. I did not take into account the camper was going to be too low as far as the ceiling height. I wanted to maintain adequate structure up here, so when it's moved in over time, this thing still remains square. So what we had to do, we just jacked up the bunkhouse section and added, if I remember correctly, 11 inches. So that's what happened. But this whole area right here is all going to be filled in with plywood, and basically the same methodology that's used for this side is going to be transferred over there. And all the work we did on this side here, let's go outside again. All right, hopefully we might be able to, actually I think we're there already. See our new curve section piece and all that. We'll probably be able to just keep this here, and then since I did, remember I told you about overlapping joints? This is a half a 2x6, if I remember correctly. It's 2 3/4 on each side. So our new plywood section will just go from 8 feet here to, let's see, I guess here. Yeah. Or we could just offset it. It'd be better maybe just go maybe 6 inches or whatever, a little bit shorter, and then stick our new piece of plywood in here also that will go all the way to the top. But yeah, it's coming along. I think we'll make it before the bad weather, the really, really bad weather sets in. So yeah, it's just you find things that need to be addressed, and then you come up with a resolution, shall we say. But I don't know if I showed a really up close picture of what went down as far as, hold on, the bunkhouse section curved pieces. See, our inner structure, which this thing never had, like it is now, it's all resting on the 2x6 down there. Let me move in closer if I can without getting a staple or a screw yanked in some place that you don't want to. But that is the front curb section, and it's sort of like a unibody car, with the frame and floor and firewall are all part of the vehicle, meaning it doesn't have a separate body on frame. That's kind of how this thing is before and now present, but obviously it's a lot beefier. The curb sections, it just came down to putting the siding on, taking it off, and measuring where it needed to be, and bust out your jigsaw and my cutoff wheel, cordless by the way, with the rotating gritty kind of a sandpaper deal, or like a DA. And yeah, but all this right here, it shouldn't be this way right now. It's all going to be addressed with a mono block, shall we say, of plywood. And we'll fill the gap in with some caulking or sealant, because there are some pinholes in the siding, both on this side and on the port side. I don't know if that was from hail damage or abuse or weathering, but that's the deal. And that's why the plywood also is going to be painted with an exterior paint, even though you won't actually see the color that's covered up by the aluminum siding. So yeah, that's what's going down. I'm going to try to get back down without trying to hurt myself, shall we say. Let's find something to put our foot on. There we go. Now we're back to floor level. But yeah, all this mess right here, don't let that stuff like this overwhelm you. You basically got a template here and the siding, the aluminum siding to go by. And since we all know what our roof dimensions should be, this is important too. I'm not going to get so cocky. Anyone can do this. Very simple, but this is our framework for the original window that was originally installed right here, okay? So we take this length of this piece, we add 2 of these, bottom and the top, and that's what our original height was as far as the bunkhouse. And with the plywood in place, we just had to make, some simple adjustments as far as cutting the overall height, like the kicker, so it matches up with this. Because the roof itself, it's going to be way more stiffer than it ever was when this originally made in a camper format. The 2x4 rafters, let's go the full width of the now shed conversion, are actually going to be resting on this. They are not going to be forcing down on the wall directly. They've got these to rely on, because that's what this is going to be sitting on. So yeah, but as you can see, it's coming along, and I know people are watching this more than friends and family, and I do appreciate it. Appreciate the gratitude for the watchers, the viewers. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit the like button or the not like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more of this. This is, after all, real life. Nothing's edited. When I watch the end of these videos, I'm like, oh, I stuttered or I lisped a little too much here and there, but that's it. This pickup camper to shed is not a prop or content like a lot of YouTubers do to get views. And then whatever object they bought, including a car, it goes off to the junkyard or whatever. Because, the addiction, obviously, for the revenue, it gets to be addictive, shall we say. But no, this pickup camper to shed conversion is staying with us on the ranch. It is not a prop at any sense. You could maybe give it a definition of content. Yeah. But whether I was filming this or not, what is going to become a shed is staying here. Now, if you're older viewer and you see all the stuff I've got, most of these things, including the hoopty, Walmart or Harbor Freight drill, that's reasonable, like 20 or 30 bucks. And this was like 20 or 30 bucks. Things like the jigsaw, I can't tell you because I think I've had that for a long time, like 25 plus years. Circular saw at the Harbor Freight Special. I think I paid 30 bucks for it. This cutoff wheel, the sanding pad, it was like 50 bucks, I believe. I bought the batteries. Yes, you have to buy the batteries separately. Anywhere, including Harbor Freight. And I'm not getting paid one, so. But these are like 50 bucks. But I think when I bought them, they were on sale for $29.99. This is a few years ago, which was a good deal back then. And so I bought 2 of them. And you don't want to drop these, and don't ever let them get dead, because that will just lessen the lifespan of a battery. Take care of a lithium battery or a lead acid battery or a nickel battery. Never get it let dead, and keep it in a nice climate. It will go a good 7 to 10 years easily. And I never let these go dead, even when I haven't used them for a long, long time. I always keep them charged up. So, yeah, so you can do it. We're probably going to be a little bit over budget as far as the original guesstimate. We're probably going to be closer to $1,000 when it's all said and done. But try to go buy a shed for $1,000. You'll get laughed right out of wherever the retailer is that's selling it. Total work time, if you were to use every available extra minute of your available time when you're off of work or on the weekends, I'll probably have a good 100 hours into it when it's all said and done. But I spread it out over a few months, so if that makes any sense. You appreciate you watching the video series. I'll keep you updated. Like I said, other videos will be posted that are not pickup camper to shed related, and feel free to watch those if you're so inclined. You have a good day, people, all right?